Hi folks, it's your boy Mark here, back again with another video, albeit 3 or 4 years after the last one, which was called Dyson Evolution. In that video, where I disposed of my collection, or most of them, I said I probably wouldn't make another Dyson video, but I lied, because as you see beside me I've got a DC15 ball here. This is a kind of a repair guide, not a full one, but these have a problem with the spine breaking. This one had broken in two places, which made it very difficult to continue using. So I'm going to give you a few pointers as to how to attack the spine replacement job, and say this is quite a complicated machine, so enjoy. So firstly, what you need to do is to take all the accessories and easily removable pieces of it, so you can kind of see what's going on. So take the cyclone out, take that tool out there, release the wand, get that off, so you've got more of the bare unit. Like I say, I've already actually done the repair, but this is more of a kind of guide to point you in the right direction. But I thought before we got underway, I'd show you kind of where the actual breakage points are on these DC15s. The main one, as you can clearly see, is the actual top of the spines is snapped clean off near where the port is here. This is basically caused because these things are too bottom heavy, and people are trying to pick the vacuum up by the wand and kind of tilt it backwards, and it just stresses it and it snaps off here. The other weak point on these is at the bottom. This like plastic protrusion here, which helps lock out the stand mechanism. If you're a bit rough with it, that will snap off, as did with this. So if you put that up against the one that's on the machine, you can see the bottom inch or so of it is snapped off here. Okay, having taken all the big unclippable bits off it, one of the first areas you're going to have to get into to replace the spine is this cover here. This is actually part of the air duct from the motor, and there's a printed circuit board inside it. I've got some still shots which I'll insert to show you those in a minute. The main tool which you need to take one of these apart is a T15 torque screwdriver, which will fit these screws here, here and one at the bottom. You can then pull this seal away. It sort of hooks up that way, and your circuit board's inside here. That's going to have to be disconnected because it's got the wiring running down to the motor, the main motor in the ball, and to the secondary motor in the cleaning head that goes down through here, through a channel, and wiring going up to the top to the switch gear. So I've just dropped in a couple of photos inside the duct, showing you the PCB and where the connections are for it. If you buy a bare spine, which are pretty hard to come by for these to do this repair, it won't have the switches and the wiring and stuff going up to the top here. So you need to remove this cover here, which is held on, if I pan around, probably shaky, with 3 screws at the back, 2 at the bottom, 1 at the top. That then enables this to unclip off here, and you find a little bit of a rat's nest in there with 2 different switches, one for the main power, one to switch the brush bar on and off. Always take a photo of any kind of like electrical connection set up before you take the bits, and you can refer to that to reverse it. Okay, before moving to the bottom of the machine, I thought I'd just drop a photo in of those 2 switches that I referred to. To get the circuit board and the electrics disconnected from that duct and the switch gear out of the top. Moving down to the bottom, as I say, these are quite Heath Robinson sort of a machine, and you've got quite a lot going on. You've got the changeover valve assembly, the tilt mechanism, lockout mechanism, and all the wiring going down into the brush bar area. Now, to get it to bits, the first thing you probably want to do is actually to remove the ball. I don't mean the actual motor that's inside it, just the actual rotating outer part. And you can see that if you fully recline the machine so as it's kind of laying virtually flat, there's enough access to actually remove this ball through here, and there's just 1, 2 and then 2 at the bottom, 4 T15 screws, and you get a little screwdriver in there, flick it apart on the joint. You can take this side out from the bottom, turn it around and drop the other side out. Flexible hose will just pop off here by the changeover valve and will come out, and you can detach it at the other side on the head end if you need to get it out of the way. This plastic clip here, you put a screwdriver behind there, that flicks out that way. That then gives you access to this capping here, which actually retains the ball and the motor shaft. So that has to come out there, as does this cover. This will be removed at this point. There's a yoke piece on the back here, which has got a couple of screws here and here to release that. That needs to come off because that allows the cleaning head and this front part here to come out the way. I'll again insert another photo. Behind this cover here, there's some electrical connectors, spade connectors, where you separate the wiring that goes to here from the motor in the front of the cleaning head. There's like a bit of a rubber grommet as well, which needs to come out of the way. And also you'll probably find there's some nylon cable ties holding the wiring together, and you need to cut those as well to get everything free. Just a couple of photos, one showing you underneath that cover and another one showing you the bare assembly with the motor cover exposed. So to get the motor out of the original spine, you've got to make clearance, and to do that on the opposite side to the duct, which is here, which is where all your electrics are living. So looking from the front, it's kind of the left hand side of the machine, where you've got this changeover valve and ducting mechanism. This bottom part, which I also said was broken, has to come out like that, yeah, from the machine to give you clearance to pull the motor out from there. It's a sandwich with this piece here, which is a bit of a tight fit. So the changeover valve is sandwiched between this bottom part and the main part of the spine, and that's the fiddliest to kind of slide back into position. But once you separate those with these screws released here, the motor will pull out from your ducting, and then you can get the new one and feed the wiring back through here. I had to swap the undercarriage mechanism over as well. This side, it's held with like a plastic spring washer, which I'm pointing to there, which you can flick off with a screwdriver. And so I think, from recollection, on the other side there's a screw holding it on, because it's kind of linked into this kind of changeover valve tilt mechanism that's on the other side of the machine. But you'll probably figure that out. If I haven't mentioned it already as well, at the front, this yoke and the motor and the head assembly will all come off as one piece, because there's only 2 wires which are behind here that connect the loom in here to the motor. So once you disconnect those 2 and remove that cover and release the ball and the motor either side, this whole front part will come away. This isn't a job really for the faint-hearted, and so I haven't fully showed you the procedure to do it, but this will give you some kind of idea if you did want to do it. And I would imagine a lot of these are scrapped because of this spine breakage problem, particularly at the top there where it's weak, but hopefully this will be of some use to you. Okay folks, well that's about you lot. I did successfully manage to complete this repair. It wasn't easy. I've repaired a number of upright older DC14 and before Dysons, not one of these. hopefully some of the information at least gives you some insight into what's involved in doing this, although it'll be a small minority of people that will probably want to undertake it, in part because of the shortage of good spines for these, because you can't buy the parts new from Dyson, this being an old machine. Moving forward, I do hope to make some more videos. Not sure if they'll be Dyson related. I may do one on my Dyson CR02 washing machine, which has got a bad main bearing in the back of it, which I think was sourced from Dallara racing cars or something crazy. So that may be like a women strip down and demolition rather than a rebuild video, but I do hope to do that, least of all because my missus wants it out of my garage. Beyond that, I think I mentioned before, one of my other crazy collections is iPhones. I've got a load of those which I might want to do a video or videos on. I've got a motorbike. I'm a bit of a petrol head, so there may be some car and motorbike content as well. We'll see. Still busier than I want to be, and with the current situation things are a little difficult as well, but hopefully by 2021 at the earliest there'll be some more stuff on here. But thanks for watching for now. I'm out. Peace.